How's it going, everyone? You got Corey here, aka Crasher, bringing you guys a very serious video. Now, I will warn you guys, there may be a language warning here in this video in the event that I might get a little bit pissed off and heated, because I've been sitting on this for quite some time now, and you know what? Enough is enough. I need to say what's on my mind and get a few things off my chest. This is in regards to YouTube with the whole situation with the FTC and with COPPA. So with that being said, I'm going to get straight to the point and say, YouTube, you messed up big time. Now, don't get this twisted. This is not a video that's made out of hate. This is not made out of spite or meant to bash anybody, but this is meant to show some tough love in this situation, because myself, as well as, well, God, countless creators are fuming mad right now in regards with this whole situation with YouTube and the FTC and COPPA. And we have recently found some new information that has come to light that has pretty much changed the entire complexion out of this whole ordeal. So to give you guys a little bit of context here, in case you guys don't know what is going on, recently YouTube was fined by the FTC, or the Federal Trade Commission, for $170 million for violating COPPA. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what COPPA stands for, it stands for Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and what YouTube done was they collected information from those children when it came to personalized ads whenever they were surfing around on YouTube watching a variety amount of content. And as you guys are most likely aware, that right there is illegal. You are not allowed to collect information in regards to children online. That right there is just that we're getting into a whole nother realm that is just too messed up to even begin to speculate on. But you know what makes this thing even better, and I totally say that without sarcasm? YouTube, rather than owning up and taking responsibility for their actions and improving upon things so that way a situation like that never happens again, guess what they decided to do? They decided to pass the buck on to us creators. To paraphrase, they more or less said that we have to be responsible for who views our content, and we have to mark our content as either kid-friendly or not kid-friendly. And if we were somehow to mislabel our videos, whether it be if you were to upload a video that's not kid-friendly, but you mark it as kid-friendly and vice versa, then you could be in violation of COPPA and therefore be fined, fined up to $42,000 US currency. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that translates to a lot of money in Canadian dollars. So that's pretty much what sparked this entire controversy in the first place. Everybody and their mothers on YouTube are absolutely in shambles right now. You know, all of us are freaking out about this, and we're just like, oh my God, you know, like, what do we do, you know? And because of that, even larger YouTubers are planning on quitting YouTube in January 2020. A lot of YouTubers are going to be shut down because of these new rules and regulations from COPPA. And this especially works against kid-friendly channels, because the thing is that if you are a kid-friendly channel, if your audience is mainly targeted towards kids, then you are going to receive a cut of revenue in between the ranges of 60 to 90%. And not to mention also, you're going to lose out on several engagement features, such as ratings, such as comments, such as notifications. Your videos can't be saved to playlists. They can't even be searched up, I don't think. And also, you lose out on the community tab function, which is very, very vital for your fan base, so that way you can keep them up to date with what is going on and engage with them. Now, all of us were pissed off, you know, all of us were pointing fingers and torches and pitchforks at the FTC and COPPA. However, there was some new information that has recently surfaced, and upon learning this information earlier today, I'm just like, what? Are you absolutely kidding me? So if I can be afforded to, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be playing a couple of sampler clips from a video that is very, very well spoken and very well informed of the situation. So Let's hear it.
The problem, of course, is how to create a YouTube user experience that complies with the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA, and the FTC settlement in 2019. To solve this problem, YouTube chose to create a system where every single creator must affirm, either at the channel level or per video, that the content is either made for kids under 13 years of age or not. In that weird call I got, the stranger told me that when YouTube came up with this new video marking system, they clearly ignored warnings by the FTC. They disregarded clear COPPA law, and they betrayed creators.
And in all honesty, that doesn't surprise me because YouTube is very notorious for their lack of communication skills. They are never transparent and honest when it comes to the community. And also, this wouldn't be the first time that YouTube has thrown creators under the bus. But there's more to this video that I would like to share and kind of respond to a little bit.
The COPPA law gives us the rule that websites and social media platforms directed at kids under 13 years of age cannot take the personal information and cannot access the web cookies of these children without parental consent. Now let's talk about the state of content on YouTube. YouTube, as it exists now, has content directed at children under 13 years of age. Therefore, it is subject to COPPA law. But it also has adult content and, most importantly, it has content that appeals to both children and adults alike.
And that is something that YouTube once again decided to sweep under the rug and decide to make it all about them and about convenience. Because there are channels out there that are strictly dedicated to a children audience, such as toy channels, such as, sing-along songs or poetry channels and things like that. And then you have more aggressive adult content, such as wrestling, such as, rap battling like King of the Dot, things like that. And you also have content that kind of meets halfway. It is a sort of content that is for everybody, children and adults both.
When I think of content directed at kids and adults, I think of the channel Dude Perfect. The adult men on that channel have a great time shooting Nerf guns, driving RC cars, dressing up in costumes, and children and adults love this channel. But of course, since YouTube has content that appeals to under 13 kids, they've got to comply with COPPA law. Now, allegedly, to comply with COPPA law, YouTube says they imposed this new video marking system on creators, and it went into effect last week. But for a reason to be discussed later on in this video, YouTube chose to create a system that only addresses the first two categories of content. That is, children content and adult content. You have to mark under this new video marking system whether or not your video is for kids or for adults. There is no other option. There is no other general audience option where a creator can mark it as good for kids and adults alike.
And given that, it also kind of shows how out of touch YouTube is with their community, as there are a lot of channels that are catered to both kids and adults, not just one or the other. Take me, for example, on my channel Crasher Plays and Reacts, my channel is meant for everybody. I have a general audience that is made up of people that are above the age of 18 at approximately 87%, according to the YouTube analytics when it comes to the age demographic section. And I mainly do a lot of Pokemon-based content, as well as a lot of other creators like Shady Penguin, A-Drive, Ruffled Rowlet, just to name a few. The thing is that while Pokemon may primarily be targeted towards kids, there are a lot of adults that are into content that revolves around Pokemon. I'm 29 years of age. I grew up with Pokemon since I was 6 years old. And same with a lot of other people. They grew up with Pokemon and they still are Pokemon fans and consumers of the product to this very day. So this right here also kind of showed that YouTube was very hasty in coming up with all of this rather than taking the time to doing research and actually coming up with something that makes much more sense, that is beneficial for everybody objectively across the boards.
And the guy on the phone told me that this was not the original intent of the FTC when they adopted the COPPA law. The caller then directed me to go to the FTC's website and go to their frequently asked questions on COPPA. I'm going to leave a link to this particular website page in the description section below. I reviewed the answers and questions again on the FTC website, and sure enough, in black and white, back in 2015, the FTC warned everyone that there was a general audience exception to COPPA. Here's the language, and I quote, "COPPA only covers information collected online from children. It does not cover information collected from adults that may pertain to children. Thus, COPPA is not triggered by an adult uploading photos of children on a general audience site or in the non-child directed portion of a mixed audience website." So what does this mean? It means that 4 years ago, the FTC openly recognized that there was a middle ground audience. It just wasn't children's content. It just wasn't adult content. It was content that appealed to both adults and children.
So this here just pretty much backs up what I said earlier, that YouTube completely rushed this out. They didn't do the research, and they clearly don't respect the audience and the intelligence of the audience at that, which honestly, you know, without all of us original creators, YouTube would not be where they are as a platform today without all of us to make it popular in the first place.
YouTube failed to address this general audience in their video marking system. They said that to comply with COPPA, you have to mark your video as either for kids or not. But this isn't true. And as the man said on the phone, YouTube hid from us creators that the FTC has no intent to sue creators over content for a general audience. In other words, the FTC is of the opinion that just because a creator includes kids' themes in their videos, you know, like Pokemon, Fortnite, or board games, just because of this doesn't mean that the creator should lose info cards, end screens, sub notifications, and more importantly, monetization, or be sued.
And all of those listed features that you would lose out on would completely tank out your channel, because you have those features for a reason, and those features are forms of engagements. You have info cards, you have end screens, which direct viewers to watch other videos that you either make reference to in the video, or videos that you would recommend your viewers to check out at the end of the video. And losing out on notifications as well, I mean, you can pretty much kiss good viewership goodbye at that point if even your own subscribers aren't being notified of your videos. And also, if you are building businesses based on your YouTube channel and you get a big time ad revenue cut of between 60 and 90%, that right there is going to completely be a huge problem for your business. And that right there is also a great way to not only go out of business, but also potentially lose everything that you worked for God knows how long, ever since you've been on the site.
YouTube had known the entire time about this general audience exception to COPPA, and they hid it from us creators. I asked the guy, why didn't YouTube accommodate this general audience exception to COPPA in the video marking system? He told me at the end of the call, but before that, he said it's in the law. I was like, what's in the law? He said that the general audience, or what he termed the mixed audience exception to COPPA, is actually in the words of the COPPA law. Now later, I did the research and I confirmed that yes, he was right. The mixed audience exception to COPPA is actually in the COPPA law at Title 16, Code of Federal Regulations, Section 312.2. All right, let me paraphrase the law for you. If you make a video that qualifies as a kid's video under that famous 10-factor test that we discussed in this video, then you don't have to comply with COPPA law. You don't have to get parental consent if kids under 13 are not your primary audience. This new YouTube rule, this requirement that creators mark their videos as either for kids or not, is too simplistic. It's overly broad. It does not take into account that there are a lot of creators out there that make content that appeals to both kids and adults, a general audience. This is a type of audience that the FTC law, the COPPA law, clearly recognizes. These creators who elect to make general audience content should not lose their channel features and their ad revenue.
Yeah, it's honestly really disgusting that YouTube didn't even bother mentioning this to us, even though they had known about this the entire time. I mean, honestly, it's like, who works at the YouTube HQ? A bunch of fucking idiots? Like, seriously, pardon my French, but goddamn, like, don't you think you should be more transparent and honest with your audience, especially for something that is of a magnitude like this? I mean, come on. Like, even a monkey would know that that right there is terrible business practice, because again, you would not be where you are without all of us creators making the site relevant day in and day out for years.
Why in the world would YouTube hide this from us? Why would they create a video marketing system that only has two choices, either for kids or not? Well, the guy on the phone had the answer. In simple terms, he said that it would decrease corporate profits. If YouTube took the transparent approach and approached creators and said, listen, under this new FTC settlement and COPPA law, we have to create a system that separates kids content for kids under 13 years of age from adult and teen content, and then be able to work with a system like that, they would definitely lose money, and Google and YouTube are not in the habit of doing that. Instead of forcing creators to make the Sophie's choice of either killing revenue or risk being sued, YouTube could have spent the time and money to create a new system, to create an age gate, to require that people who watch YouTube videos must be signed in and they must verify that they are older than 13 years of age.
Gotta just absolutely love when YouTube throws their creators under the bus and sells out on us, the very people that made YouTube what it is today. Like, are you absolutely fucking kidding me up in this? Like, seriously, YouTube, like, do you not have any idea just how stupid all of this is? Like, can you not comprehend the amount of stupidity that all of this is in right now? Like, seriously, like, why would you throw us under the bus? The very creators, the very entity that has kept your site afloat and relevant since its early days, all the way back in 2004. And you know what? In all honesty, this right here just shows the true colors of the YouTube administration, that they really don't care about us creators unless, of course, we align their pockets with that good old green. That is just absolutely pathetic. You know what I mean? But you know what is even funnier about all of this right here is that this right here just goes to show that we mean absolutely nothing to YouTube. And you know what? This right here should put into perspective for every creator that comes across this video, and they should probably think twice before they go ahead and continue to support a platform like this if that's the way things are going to be. Okay, let me just make one thing very clear. I am very much thankful for what YouTube has done for me in my life, okay? Without YouTube, I wouldn't have met my brother Jason, I wouldn't have met my girlfriend Lauren, and I sure as hell wouldn't have had such an amazing community, amazing audience of friends that view my content, that we talk as friends, and pretty much anything under the sun. You know, we talk, we're like friends. I am very much appreciative of that when it comes to YouTube, but what I don't appreciate is the fact that this is how they essentially repay us. They decide to go and pull this shit right here. And what would happen to your beloved YouTube and your beloved dollars if a bunch of these big creators that make you all that money decide, well, you know what? Maybe I don't want to upload to YouTube no more. Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and move on to another platform. Maybe somewhere like Vimeo, maybe somewhere like VidMe, maybe somewhere like Dailymotion, or any other uploading platform that involves something that is similar to YouTube that could eventually rise up to be a competitor. I mean, look at what happened with Ninja and Twitch. Now that Ninja has moved on to Mixer, that streaming website has gained a lot of relevancy and a lot of ground. So just imagine if something similar to that effect was to happen with YouTube and a whole bunch of the big YouTubers if they were to move on to another video sharing platform and suddenly build up that platform to be a worthy competitor. I really don't think YouTube would like that too much. So the thing is that YouTube really and truly needs to show a lot more appreciation than what they're giving us, which is zilch.
YouTube didn't do this and as a result hung us creators out to dry. The caller told me that he wanted to get this information out there, but he couldn't do it because he feared retribution. He said, "You don't know the power of YouTube."
Now, while that may be true that YouTube has a lot of power nowadays, the truth is that they would not be in power if it weren't for the hundreds of thousands of large creators and the millions more viewers that come to the website every single day to consume multiple videos. Just think, if this right there was to suddenly twist and change within the snap of a fingers and YouTube started losing all of that, they'd be losing power too. And with the loss of power would also be the loss of money and so on and so forth. You get the idea. I don't want to see anyone go out of business, okay? I would never wish that upon anybody. But what I do wish upon everyone is the ability to have accountability for your actions and to do the right thing and to be humble and be grateful for those that made you what you are today, whether you are a celebrity or whether you are a corporate business like YouTube. And if I can also just say here, you know, YouTube also had the slogan, broadcast yourself, but funny, they don't have that on their website anymore, which kind of nods at me a little bit, thinking that, wait a second now, it's not about broadcasting yourself anymore, it's about broadcasting content that makes money. Like whatever happened to the good old days where you could legitimately broadcast yourself doing whatever it is that you wanted, reacting to cat videos, you know, making rage videos, playing video games, you know, skateboarding, doing tricks and all that stuff, you know, whatever happened to the original organic content that made the site popular in the first place. Now all we have is a bunch of these TV shows and late night talk show hosts and celebrities waltzing their way onto the YouTube platform and suppressing us original creators with their star power and with the preferential treatment that YouTube gives to them. They should be on a level playing field just like all of us who scratch and claw and punch and kick our way to the top every single day in this perpetual grind, 365 days a year when it comes to being a YouTuber. And if I can also say this as well, and I want you guys to look me dead in the eyes when I say this, okay? This is all I have ever wanted to do for years. All I've ever wanted to be was a YouTuber. I have wanted to inspire and entertain for years, okay? I've went through my life not being very good at a lot of things, but this is something that I feel like that genuinely speaking, I am good at. I didn't have a lot of people believe in me at first. A lot of my peers didn't believe me. A lot of my friends didn't believe me. Hell, a lot of my family didn't believe in me. I was laughed at. But you know something? I proved everybody wrong day in and day out with my work ethic and my determination and my passion for what I do today. Now, I've made doubters into believers. And you know what? So has a lot of other people like myself. You know what I'm saying? Because if I am someone that has this much passion for YouTube, I guarantee you there are thousands of others out there that share the same passion, that share the same fire and intensity like I do. And I will say this once again, this is all I've ever wanted to do. This is all I've ever wanted. This is something that has given me a lot of happiness, but alternatively has something that has given me a lot of depression and a lot of problems as well because of how much work and dedication I put into YouTube in the first place. Hell, I even sacrificed my Mega Crasher channel. 4 years of work, over 2,000 videos I made on that channel. I sacrificed that channel to start fresh. It was the biggest risk that I've ever had to take, but I knew that it had to be done because my old channel was pretty much a lost cause at that point due to the suppression and the algorithms, and now things are finally good. They are consistent. Everything is going good. I've never felt like I've been on top of my game more than what I do right now. And the thing is that I'm making a lot of people proud. I am making a lot of people happy. I'm inspiring people. I'm entertaining people. I'm living the dream right now, baby. And I will fight tooth and nail for my dream and for the dreams of others, or I will die trying. I would rather die doing what I love or defending what I love than to live with no dreams and be a quitter. And I'll say this, you don't have to like me, you don't have to hate me, you don't even have to respect me, but I think you and we can agree on the fact that when it comes to this whole thing right here, something needs to be done, the message needs to be spread, and we need to make YouTube aware of the fact that what they're doing is absolutely wrong, and the way that they are mistreating the creators and throwing them to the wolves is completely wrong as well. Turns out the FTC was innocent in all of this after all. So YouTube, understand me when I say this. I love what you've done for me. I love how far we have come since our journey had started on these two channels. But I will say this. I will fight tooth and nail to stay where I'm at, and I will fight tooth and nail to keep doing what I love to do, and that is to inspire and entertain people. And if that right there is something that you can't handle, if that right there is something that is too real for you, sorry, but you can go fuck yourself.